Y'all make some noise for Seether! Woo! It's great to see you guys. Thank you for coming over.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody have a microphone?
Yep.
So I was following your Facebook page, which I know is an evil thing because you all hate social media.
Yep.
And but I did love seeing all the Sharon Gas stuff you had on there. It was super cool. You know, his 20th anniversary. You're still crushing it.
It's been a long time. I still sometimes don't believe that we're still here doing it. You know what I mean? It was about 20 years, right about now that we got together for the first time. So it's been a long time. It makes me feel ancient.
Did you ever think you'd make it for 20 years?
No. I mean, I didn't think we'd even make it past a few years, or even beyond just playing on weekends. You know, it was just a fun thing to do when we started.
Okay, here's a stupid question. What kind of stupid jobs did you do before you did this? I worked at McDonald's, Burger King, Ponderosa, every fast food joint, supermarket. I had the shittiest jobs ever. What did you do?
I was a bartender, and I used to make jewelry. Like, I used to be a jeweler, yeah. Well, I studied for it.
I was a licensed barber, actually. I cut hair.
What's wrong with your hair, man? You're not doing this.
I know. My scissors broke,
like
man.
You're all scruffy looking, dude. What's up with that? What'd you do?
I sold fishing tackle.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you a fisherman?
Yes. Yeah,
oh, good.
I still fish. Yeah, I love it. So.
What do you like to catch? Big bass or what?
Whatever. Depends. I like fishing in the ocean, but, I like the freshwater stuff too. So.
More often than not, though, his boat he finds himself sinking, or he goes all the way to the ocean and leaves his paddle behind.
Yeah, something always goes wrong. Like,
what do you do?
I sold shoes at like 12.
Oh my God, a shoe salesman.
El Bundy over here.
You like my
Hi,
shoes?
is there anything in particular you're looking for today?
Cinderella slipper over there. That's cool. It's always weird to figure out, like to hear what people did before they were rock stars. And here you are crushing it 20 years later, sarin gas. Like, aren't you glad you didn't stay with that name?
I mean, I understood the reasoning behind it. I think it was a little bit, over sensationalized. I mean, any good art should be a little bit offensive, I mean, Anthrax didn't change their name. You know what I'm saying? But it was a new chapter for us. We came over, we shifted some band members, and we recorded a brand new. We re-recorded some of the old tracks from the first album, so it felt like a good time to have a new name.
Now, on the new album, you produced it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How different was that as opposed to what you did before?
It's a lot more nerve-wracking because usually when you go to do an album, it's the producer's the one who sort of steers the ship, and you tend to just listen to him, and he gives you the advice. And we had guys like Brendan O'Brien, who's well known, and we allowed him to steer us in certain directions. And I think I learned a lot from these guys that we worked with. So it was great to be able to be the one that was allowed to call the shots without being shut down. Does that make sense? Because it's not that you get shut down. It's just that the producer has an idea of what he wants you to sound like, and then you have an idea of what you want you to sound like. So sometimes those are there's frictionless relationships. Other times it can become a little contentious. So now I just have myself to fight with.
So you all tell me, you three, how do you do?
We're going to do it on the next record, so he did pretty damn good, I think.
Y'all can tell me. I'm not going to tell. He's right here, but I'm not going to say anything if y'all
don't tell anybody, but he did pretty good. I think he'll laugh at it again.
He was a pain in the ass. He was bitching at you all the time. Shit.
Slave driver.
No.
He beats us when no one's around.
And it really does come down to the final product. It's a product that you're doing, and at the end of the day, when you mash play and it sounds, you're getting all the things that you want out of it. It's something to be proud of, and that's something I think that represented.
Yeah.
Well, I love the heavy. How do you guys like the new album? Do you love it? Poison in the Parish? It's killer, right? Super heavy, really good riffs. Now, being that you got rid of your whatever producers that were there before, was that a conscientious, we're going to go heavier on this?
Yeah, I think that for the past few albums, we were at a different label, and they also kind of wanted us to sound a little bit more radio-friendly, I guess. So
radio-friendly, those are two dirty words, radio-friendly.
No, not necessarily, but if you take a mix of a heavy song and you dumb it down and you take out all the heavy guitars, it's still essentially the same song, but it just doesn't sound as heavy. So this album, we wanted to get it to sound like we sound live, because often we'll go out and play live, and it's much heavier than it is when we release these in the past albums anyway. So we wanted to rather go more towards the live direction than the dumbed down studio versions.
Let's talk about all the meaning behind the music. You know, the Poison in the Parish, you and I talked about that on air.
Yeah.
The fact that you were kind of dogging out social media. So tell me, what exactly did you mean by that, and who is the Poison?
I think it was just basically society in general, where we all look up to stupid people because they have a nice arse, or they have a big pair of boobs, and they get to make millions of dollars, and then kids hang on to them, and kids see that as an example of something to strive towards, which I think is empty and vapid. So I think that I stay away from it as much as I can, and I see it in teenage kids. I have one, and she's very, 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 very. It's important to her that people like stuff that she posts, and she measures her self value and her on how many people comment on her or look at her post or thumbs up or like or whatever they are. And I think it's making people sad, and people are anxious, and they feel not good enough, and they all pretend to be something. It's no way to live, I don't think. So I think it's something that's evil and needs to be gotten rid of. And I think that as soon as people understand that if you live, if you come to a rock show and you watch the show through your phone, you didn't experience the show. You spent the whole time making sure that your shot was good enough for YouTube. Don't worry, someone else will put it up tomorrow on YouTube. It doesn't really matter. If you want to be there, you should be experiencing it now, and put your phone down and actually enjoy the moment. Have a couple beers and actually, pay attention to the band, I think.
That's right. Put your damn phones down.
No, that's different.
Look, I see one
this
right
is nothing
there.
to experience.
Put that shit down, man.
See, he knows. That's what I'm saying. He knows what it's about.
All right.
When the time comes for playing, your phone goes in your pocket and you enjoy the show. But right now, this is us on show, so this is where we get filmed.
How many of y'all click like on the boobies on the internet? Woo! Shame on you! Shame!
No,
shame.
I don't think there's anything wrong with people doing it. I just think it's negatively affecting the youth culture.
No, it's a problem, because, like you and I were talking about the other day, we keep waiting for people to get smart and say, you know what? We can't believe everything you see on the internet. A lot of it's bullshit. Yeah. And should we be liking or should we be leaving all of it? It's just annoying.
My thing is people should, I think, essentially should step away from it. But that's what I've done, and I'm in no way less happy for doing so. I think I'm happy because I don't care what people think about what I'm having for breakfast or which shoes I'm going to be wearing with this pair of jeans today. And none of it means anything. And then I'm not trying to find the perfect. We were on the beach a few months back, and we watched these three girls take about an hour's worth of selfies to get the perfect shot, and the amount of times I saw their guts getting sucked in and the angle trying to get, and they did not stop. There was a bunch of us just sitting there watching
3
them.
hours, 4
it was
hours
like it non-stop, and then eventually they burned out on selfies, and they like collapsed in the sand out of pure boredom and tiredness. But all of that to get one dude to give you a thumbs up or.
Hey man, would you pose for a selfie with me? There it is. We'll be online later.
Nice.
I'm just messing with you. No, I totally agree. I have a teenage daughter. She does the same thing. It's crazy. So.
It's just, we should be measured on our worth by what we give to the world, and unfortunately stuff like beauty fades, and there's really no, I don't know. It's disheartening,
So what are y'all doing on stage tonight? You got your 20th anniversary. You doing a big blowout 20th anniversary thing?
I'm just going to drink a lot of Jameson.
Yeah.
Hope I don't forget the songs.
Yeah, we didn't. We forgot to bring our bombs and our explosions and our flames and stuff.
Damn, I left the dragon at home.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
It's an actual dragon.
I was expecting Daenerys Targaryen.
No, we just play rock and roll music and we have fun with it, man. It's we're actually in the middle right now of writing an album, so we take some weekends off and we come down and play some rock shows, and it's nice for us to come out and play every once in a while, get out of the cave. But we're going to go back and tomorrow I'll continue writing. So
where are you going after this?
Home. Yep. Home tomorrow. Yeah.
No kidding. And for a couple of weeks or
6 weeks at home, and then we've got a bunch of weekends in a row that we'll be going for, and then we'll be home again. So we got about another 8 shows for this year, and then we'll be done for the year.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, Seether is on stage tonight at 8:10, folks. Give it up for Seether!
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
having
coming
us.
by.
Thank you.
It's cool.